Hey, have you ever heard the saying, growth eats cash? If your customers don't pay you immediately, you've probably felt it firsthand. And here's how it happens: your sales and your profits are up, so things are looking great on paper. But then you check your bank account, and damn, the cash isn't there. For businesses where your customers pay you on terms, so let's say like net 30 or net 60, you provide the service or goods to them, they don't pay you until 30 or 60 days later. This is really a common and frustrating reality because what happens is the faster you grow, the more the cash gets tied up in unpaid invoices and expenses outflow. So your expenses might be payroll, it might be goods you're buying, or just overall increased expenses. And your unpaid invoices, also known as accounts receivable, is going up as you're growing. So this creates a cash crunch. And so a lot of times people will say your growth is eating your cash. Now, growth doesn't just require more resources. As I mentioned, it demands more cash. And if you're not prepared, it's going to leave you feeling very strapped. And even in worst cases, it can make a company go out of business. So here's some things that you can consider. The first thing you want to do, and probably the easiest one, is give your customers or work with your customers to give them shorter payment terms. So maybe if you have them on net 30 or net 60, you try to get them down to net 15. You also could offer them an incentive to pay you like net 7, and maybe you discount the invoice by 1%. That's an obvious one. Another one is to actually track your cash cycle. If you figure out, if you do the math, or you have someone that can help you and simplify this for you, you could do the math of what your conversion cycle, your cash conversion cycle is. You'll know exactly when you're going to have cash pinches or cash crunches, and then you can plan on how to mitigate this or reduce this negative cash flow during that time period. The third way, and one of my favorites, is creating a 13-week cash flow forecast. And I do this for clients whenever their cash is tight and they're trying to track it closely. So what you do is you lay out a plan, a weekly plan for 13 weeks. And it gives you a pretty clear picture of when you're going to have challenges. But it also allows you to go, well, maybe I'll delay buying that piece of equipment in week 7 and I'll wait till week 9 or week 11. Or maybe I'll won't pay my suppliers. I'll renegotiate with my suppliers and go to net 45 because by week 12 I'll be flush with cash because my cycle has turned. So that's another thing you can do. And then the other big one is to secure a safety net, like a line of credit. I always advise this for all clients, whether you need one or not. Go out and get a line of credit as soon as you can. Doesn't mean you have to use it, but it gives you a nice bridge for temporary cash shortages, the gaps to be able to fill them. So, highly recommend getting a line of credit, even if you don't think you need one. So, the key here is balance your growth with smart cash flow strategies so you can scale sustainably without running out of money. Now, hey, if you've got this challenge or you want to talk about this a little bit more heavily, I'm happy to do that. CFO Made Easy is my website, www.cfomadeeasy.com. On there, you can book a meeting. Be happy to talk with you in a little more detail about this. Thanks, and have a great one.